Good morning, and today this is one of three videos. I've already done this in class with a lot of you. It's the Pope boxing scene, so I'm going to go through that again for the people who weren't there, and then the next video will be the three of the different ways you could use the Pope boxing scene. And then the last video, I'm actually going to write a paragraph with the quotes that I've pointed out in it. So it's three connected videos. And the first thing is that, apologies for saying different things to what I said in class, but here, Faustus says, you know, he's gone round with Mephistopheles, he's just been flying all over the world, and now he wants some sport and some merriment, which doesn't really seem to be maybe the thing you might expect someone to do, having sold their immortal soul for all eternity. Are these bits put in to please the playgoers who just want a bit of comedy in the middle? Or are they put in to show how limited his imagination is? So anyway, a lot of people think they're written by someone else, these bits, but you don't need to go into that. The play's the play. So here he is, the Pope. He gets, where am I? Mephistopheles, and puts a robe on Faustus, which is kind of low-life comedy, really, isn't it? An invisible robe. In comes the Pope. So what's important because of this bit, him wanting the sport and the merriment, you're on Faustus and Mephistopheles' side. You're in the joke with them, and the joke is at the expense of the Pope, the cardinals, and the Catholic Church. So from it being a moment of horror, and you really disapprove of Faustus conjuring the devil, all of a sudden you're in on their joke, you're joining in their joke. This is a very strange place to be for the audience. So remember that the Pope and the Cardinal, they represent the enemy in Elizabethan England. They've just sent an armada, an invasion force, which wasn't successful. They have excommunicated England, even though that doesn't matter anymore, but they are sort of religious enemies and regime enemies. I don't know, I need a better way of putting that. You know, they wanted to take over England, retake it for the church, take its wealth, change its government. They are the enemy. So laughing at the Pope is a very, very popular thing to do, and in no way does he represent respectability and authority. So the only thing I can put it close to now is laughing at Donald Trump. People would enjoy, you wouldn't be disrespectful to to British society laughing at Donald Trump. People would love it. Or the other one I've said is laughing at the leader of Islamic State as something that you're frightened of, something that might attack, and maybe the best way to deal with it is to laugh at it, but I'm taking no chances. So, background over. Pope is enemy, you're enjoying laughing at him. So there is the Pope. Faustus says, fall to and the devil choke you, and you spare to the different people. And the Pope says, how now, who's that which spake? Friars look about. And you could even quote, some friars attempt to search. That's hilarious. They look all over the stage. You can see Faustus, and Faustus is running away. He can kick them up the arse. He can put a custard pie in their face. It's absolutely, and that can go on for as long as the audience is laughing. So in that kind of knockabout farce humour, and finally they decide here's nobody. Right, so the scene begins, and this is going to be the kind of comic repetition here. So the first, here's a dainty dish was sent me from the Bishop of Milan, which Faustus takes, and they all go looking they search about for the food that Faustus has stolen. And here, right, so after about 10 minutes, or when the audience has stopped laughing, they start again. This dish was sent to me from the Cardinal of Florence. So that this repeated, was sent me, was sent me. And Faustus takes it again, and the Pope says, what again? And the whole thing can go on again. You can have some more comic looking, and you're laughing your head off because you can see Faustus evading them and kicking them and punching them in the face, or taking their clothes off, whatever you want. So Faustus then snatches the cup, and Lorraine, this is a cardinal, decides it might be a ghost. And here's a joke at Catholic expense: crept out of purgatory, which was a sort of Catholic invention for making money, really, that souls would go to purgatory and you could pay money to the church and you could get the soul out of your loved one out of purgatory into heaven. So there's a little joke there. Maybe it's come out of purgatory. And so they decide to, what do you call that thing when you get rid of ghosts? What? Exercise. They decide to exorcise the ghost. So they go off to prepare a dirge, a song, a slow song. And the Pope crosses himself, which Faustus then, what are you crossing of yourself? Well, use that trick no more. So crossing yourself is a Catholic thing, and here's Faustus laughing at it and calling it a trick. And the third time he does it, Faustus hits him a box of the ear. Audience would absolutely love that. Faustus runs away, which is a sort of comic moment. So it would be like seeing Donald Trump get a box of the ear, or being hit on the ear. So we should be cursed with bell, book and candle is a reference to excommunication. I'm going to leave that one because it takes too long to go on about. So, anon you may hear a hog grunt, a calf bleat, an ass bray, because it is St. Peter's holy day. So this is general derogatory comments. Might go for hog grunt or ass bray. We like a bit of ass braying. As hilarious way of talking about the Catholic hierarchy here. So in come the friars to sing the dirge, which is itself a hilarious dirge. And I have sung it in class. I'm not sure I want to expose myself to YouTube infamy. But I'll go on just for your sake of your A-level. So he sings, cursed be he that stole away his holiness's meat from the table. That sort of dirge. And they say maledicat Dominus. And then it gets funnier and funnier. Cursed be he that struck his holiness a blow on the face. I just made up that tune. Maledicat Dominus. And obviously at this point, Faustus and Mephistopheles, who you are thoroughly enjoying, even though it's the devil, are doing things, doing things to them, singing this dirge. Like, I don't know what you want them to do, taking their clothes or kicking them, or God knows. I mean, you could do anything. So they carry on. Cursed be he that disturbeth our holy dirge. That's talking about Faustus and Mephistopheles actually disturbing it. So I'm underlining that one to remember. And then they carry on with their dirge. You've laughed your head off, and you laugh even more when Faustus and Mephistopheles beat the friars and fling fireworks. And that would be very popular, wouldn't it? I'd like to see that among them. And Exeunt leave the stage. So there is you comically siding with the jokers and being in on the joke and enjoying the discomfort of the Pope and the cardinals and the Catholic Church, which is at this point in England the enemy. So stay tuned for the ways you could use that scene.